Hi, my name is Tusk, and this is a quick update to my reduced projectile speed experimentation builds. To sum it all up, with the addition of reflecting mists and simplex amulets interacting and our ability to get reduced projectile speed on amulets, I will now be able to use weapons that aren't the Widowhail and the Craghead or the Rigwald's Quill in those builds. So there can be a major addition to the amount of damage and the amount of skills you could potentially use for this interaction. And they have added quite a few skills, so there's some interesting stuff here. First of all, Reflecting Mists allows you to reflect the qualities on an amulet or a ring. We mostly focus on the amulet because back in Calandra League, you get something like this. Here's a low quality image I pulled off a YouTube video. And the most important thing is this was before the simplex amulets got buffed to 100% as they are now, which means we can reach way higher numbers and reach our cap of lowered projectile speed way easier. So the way this works is we throw a veiled chaos orb onto a simplex amulet, and we're trying to get this specific one for 25% increased projectile speed. And of course, all of this is going to be extremely expensive because simplex amulet plus veil orb, multiple veil orbs potentially based on how high you want your roll to be, because there's like 3 rolls of this in varying quality. And then you got to go over and throw it into the random number generator and see how high of a reflective mist you get. Now, granted, you are guaranteed the negative roll, so it's not too bad, but how high the multiplier is going to be is just completely up to chance. I'm assuming that they're blocking it into tier 16 gets the first 8 rolls, and then tier 17 gets the last 9 rolls, but who knows? They haven't announced how that's specifically working. Now, that's how you do it. You throw some acceleration catalysts on it, and basically you get all your reduced projectile speed into your amulet, and that defines the entire build. Now that gives us a lot more opportunity for the kinds of skills we can use, because beforehand we were more regulated to spells and we couldn't really use bow projectiles because the damage on the actual Widowhail bow was pretty bad. Now we aren't limited by any kind of weapon restrictions. Everything on this specific page, 155 skills are now available. Now, granted, there are some ones that stand out a little more. Obviously, something like Kinetic Bolt is not going to be something you want to run with this. It doesn't have any synergy. But you got something like Molten Strike of the Zenith, where you can potentially just get all your balls in one spot and right in front of you, and like maximize the amount of shotgun. That's not the most powerful, but it's something you can do. Obviously, there's the Spectral Helix and Spectral Throw. Jungroan made a video about that a long time ago in Calandra League, so that's already treaded ground, but it's probably still going to be just as good, especially with the buffs to melee weapons this league. One of the more interesting ones that I'm going to talk about, which is new, is Poison Concoction of Bouncing. This one's very interesting because it has the chain effect on it, and we can do a similar kind of thing we were doing with the Rolling Magma, where we were stacking the chains on this Poison Concoction. And this opens up a lot of options, especially because this can potentially be put on a Pathfinder. It's right next to all these projectile nodes, and you can get all the kind of damage on that kind of thing. It's potentially one of the stronger ones I might do, and if I do get a Simplex Amulet, which is a big if, because those things are going to be really expensive, and it's probably going to be way later into the league, this might be one of the first ones I test it out with. Like, that's the major thing. And also, of course, there's still the interaction with Soul Rend of the Spiral, basic Soul Rend, where, of course, now you have all your reduced projectile speed onto the amulet, and now you can actually get way more damage on the actual weapons, because back when I was testing that skill, that was the major issue. You couldn't maximize the amount of chaos damage per second on the skill because both your weapon slots are taken up, and a lot of +2 chaos gem and +2 damage over time came from those slots. So this is a potential new thing, and that about covers everything here. There's a lot of potential new directions you can go with this specific build, and obviously it's going to be way more expensive to run, but that's kind of the direction it has to go. Obviously, the interaction between Widowhill and Craghead can still be used at lower levels, but to be honest, it's not really a interaction that really facilitates leveling in any kind of way. It was kind of rough when I was doing it before, but you know, there's a lot of potential here, and I'm excited to try it out. So, hope you guys enjoyed. YouTube.